I'm going to talk about glazing, since that's what I'm doing today. Glazing is the process by where the potter is able to put a layer of glaze over the clay object. And in order to do that, the glaze, which basically is glass, the components of glass, have to have enough clay in them so that they actually adhere to the pot. The reason for putting glazes on pots is it provides a more cleanable, less permeable surface, so it can be used safely with foods. This is a mug that I'm glazing right now. I've already put a white glaze on the inside because I like a white glaze on the inside of mugs. I'm going to put a bluer glaze on the outside called chun. And the glazes have to be very well mixed because the ingredients will start settling out. So you have to constantly mix the glaze. These glazes, by the way, I mixed myself. They contain elements from the Earth's crust like feldspar and silica and nepheline cyanide and dolomite, and they're very, very finely pulverized. And then I follow very strict formulas and recombine these elements and get very specific glazes. Each ingredient has its own job. Some affect the way it melts, some affect the color, some affect the fit onto the pot. So a glaze will typically have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, even 10 or 12 different ingredients in it. And mixing, of course, is very important. You have to be very focused to get it right. Then you want the consistency of the glaze itself to be just right, because I'm going to dip this very quickly. And I'm counting on the glaze thickness to be just right. And I can tell by how quickly it dries. It's already drying. That's about the right thickness there. And the bottoms of pots are waxed, so the glaze won't stick to the bottom. And that just needs to be cleaned off. I'll clean this a little better later. And now when this is dry enough to handle, I will dip the top part again in the glaze. And I'll get an overlapping area. So this area through here is overlapped, so it's thicker, and because I know this glaze, this thick area will begin to run. And I like glazes with some motion to them. Not always, but on some pieces I like motion. And sometimes to enhance this melting action of this layer right here, I bring it over here, where I have a solution here that contains quite a bit of copper. And copper fluxes, that means it melts quite easily. It's also going to add a lot of color. So this melting run that I'm going for here will have a lot of red color in it. And because I like to vary the way the melt is, I put a little bit more. Anyway, most potters will tell you that it really takes getting to know your glazes very, very well so that you consistently get the right amount of glaze on. And over the years you learn combinations of glazes that work well together. Basically, glazing is kind of a whole separate art in itself.